Hey, okay, so long overdue to see the second part of this Stone Protectors because if you remember, it said to be continued. And now if I seem a little tired, it's not because of the time that I'm filming this. No, I spent the day with my mom. We went out to lunch and which was good for both of us. And because I mean, we really needed the time. We did some shopping, and then when we came home, my dad and my brother went out to dinner. My brother, I think he's taking it uh, the worst out of all of us. I mean, I didn't realize that it would impact him so much. I mean, like I said, to open up a little bit, um, my aunt, she's actually my great aunt, so it's actually my mom's aunt and then my great aunt, but we never called her that. She was always our aunt. And but she had been diagnosed with cancer a few years back and she did all the treatment and everything and it was gone. But then it came back. And that's basically what happened. And as I said in the last video, she prepared uh for um for this and everything. And so and I mean when mom and I were sitting at lunch, we just sat and we talked about all the good memories that we have of her and everything. Like she would want, you know. And so it was yeah, and it was it was a good thing for both of us. And but but on a side note, because I do want to share this, um, because I talk a lot about my gangster movie obsession. So we went to the bookstore, and because we always like to go to the bookstore together, and it's actually a used bookstore. That's the only bookstore we have in town is a used bookstore. And so I went by this one area and because it's kind of a jumble in there. And I went by and I found James James Cagney's autobiography. Now, James Cagney is my favorite classic Hollywood star. And look, I absolutely love Christian Bale, but Cagney comes first. I have loved James Cagney. Oh my gosh. And so yeah, I found his autobiography. I would and my mom, she was like, if you don't buy this, I will buy it for you. And I said, oh, hell no, I'm buying it. So and so yeah, I snatched that up. And so I had to share that because I talk about my gangster movie, my unhealthy gangster movie obsession. And yeah, I'm sorry, Christian Bale, but James Cagney comes first. And but I also like Cary Grant too, so but I think everybody likes Cary Grant. He's such a sophisticated fellow and good looking too. But anyway, I'm glad you guys put up with me. I really do, and I really need it right now. I need to laugh. Oh, good heavens. But I will put it up here. Right now I have my book and then the Dialogues of Plato because that goes along with um the Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I also have a childhood book that I haven't talked about yet. And but I will put Cagney up here somehow. We'll put Cagney up there and he'll be and but anyway, again, I really appreciate that you guys put up with me. It means a lot. It really does. But anyway, ooh, um, so we're going to look at part two because again, that was a to be continued. So let's just dive into it, shall we?
You mean I am stuck with the pointy-eared little brunette face for the rest of my life?
Yeah, well, you weren't exactly an oil paint to start with, pal. Oh, I
Oh,
see it is.
that was a burn and a
Until we get
half.
the onyx back?
Or until Zoc gets the other stones.
What? You mean these stones?
You got it.
But they're kind of stuck. I mean, this feels like it's part of me.
That's the way it is.
Maybe I'm missing something. But are you sure we're headed in the right direction?
Keep going, Cliff. Just keep going.
Gotta trust her.
Oh no.
Well, stone protectors, that's the key to the hideaway.
If shot major, I'd say.
Outstanding.
The hideaway is the last safe haven against Zoc. Central command post for the popular movement to overthrow him and his Saurians. I've got to talk to my people, but I'll be back.
So, okay. I mean, this is obviously music oriented. And but I'm a little confused because when they appear in the last episode, when they appeared, she was excited that they were rock stars. However, her voice is very operatic, very and which is a beautiful voice, it really is. And so now I'm not saying by any means that a voice like that can't be in rock. I mean, for gosh sakes, we have Amy Lee. Let's just be and to be fair, Madonna's voice fit in and had different ranges and everything. So and and so I just but it seems like she's more using it when she's doing the scales. It seems like it's more like an operatic type instead of the more rock and roll. And so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out and of course this is just the second episode. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the point is of this show. But again, it's only the second episode and it's the second part of and everything. But I mean, anyway, yeah, that was just an observation I had. You know, I'm not saying that a voice like hers doesn't fit in rock and roll because again, Madonna had different ranges. Did Paula Abdul? I think Paula Abdul just stuck with pop. Yeah, I think she did. But yeah, I mean, um, and then, like I said, we had Amy Lee in the emo scene. And oh gosh, I love her voice. And while everybody was like, bring me to life, I was like, oh no, my immortal is just. And okay, let's see where this goes.
Man, this is styling. Like, we can really play. You know what I mean? Egregious.
It may be cool for y'all. It's a drag for me. I mean, I was the looker in the band.
That's about all you were.
And what am I gonna do with these ears?
Moonlight as a radar antenna?
No,
Dad jokes.
Cliff. Man, I'm telling y'all, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, this place brings a whole new meaning to the word alien. I mean, we just don't belong here.
So, y'all agree then. We pack up the van and head on home. Max?
You've heard what Opal said. There's no going back to Earth until that great crystal thing is back together. And even if we could get home, we wouldn't be able to play with a lick.
Got a point.
And, I kinda like the way we play.
So, Max, you're saying we gotta thump that evil cat Zonk before we can go home?
That's what the Empress says.
That's all she knows.
She's the Empress.
Wow. I'll bet you a quid to a bent nickel that I can get us out of here.
And we'll still be able to play out of our skins?
Well, that's another kettle of fish, isn't it?
Angus?
Yeah.
If you can do it, count me in.
Count me out.
Out. I like the way we sound.
Out. I might even learn to play this thing.
Yeah, that would be good.
Do it.
Okay. So let me get this straight. On Earth, you sounded like crap. You get this new look. You come to Opal's planet, which you're basically a tourist right now. She's trying to explain to you everything that, this prophecy or whatever it is. And everything. Basically, you're the stone protectors and all of this. And this is like the vanity is getting in the way. He's like, well, I don't want to look like this. It's like, but you sucked. Like, they wanted to kick you out of the club. There was that whole scene where they wanted you to leave the club because you sounded so bad. You want that? And he was in such denial because he was like, they like me. They did not like you, my dude. They really did not like you. Opal has her hands full with. I mean, like, three of them obviously are listening. Uh, these two are not, but I'm getting the idea that Cornelius is so stubborn out of his mind, and this guy is just going along for the ride. I don't know. I think he saw the whole lightning thing with his, and he's like, "Hey, I can do a thing." I don't know. And one of those follower type deals. Yeah, I think it's more or less what it is. Cornelius is like 100% in. He wants to get out of here. And it's like, after the guy just told him, after his bandmate just told him that if you go on Earth, you're not going to sound like this ever again. And that's just it. They're a band. I mean, my gosh. Ooh, there are times where somebody will go solo and the band still does fine. I mean, like Trey Cool was not the first drummer. We all know that Ringo Starr was not the first. Yeah, it was not the first drummer. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like when Harry Styles left One Direction, that was pretty much the end. I mean, let's just be honest here. When Justin Timberlake left, that was pretty much the end. Dude, eh. And I mean, I understand that that's a boy band, but I mean, when I mean, I could do my favorite band, the Monkees. I mean, one of them left. I mean, if you only have three of the guys, it's not going to work. Yeah, because there was a point where Peter Tork left. I think he was just exhausted from it or something. And then there was also a time where Michael Nesmith left and yeah. So just you're a band. Of course, Michael Nesmith was already a musician before the whole thing. That's one thing that bothers me is they're like, oh yeah, they were only trained to be musicians for the show. No, they all knew music before. Go look it up. Yeah. Michael Nesmith was a musician long before they decided to do the show. So I don't know where you get your information. Anyway, let's keep going with this.
Forget it, Max. Angus knows his keyboards, even knows his Vivaldi, but this is a whole new gig. Besides, we're a band, man. We're in this together.
Like I said. I don't know what it is about a saxophone, but it feels so 80s to me. Maybe because most of the soundtracks of the TV shows
Cornelius, I've been
had
thinking you'll be
a
singing back
saxophone
with
in
that
it
group we used
somewhere.
to hate.
I don't know.
Ignition.
He wants to give that up to go back to Earth. He's not going to sound like that anymore. And it's like, that's just leaving his brain. Uh-oh.
It's working, it's working! Our gemstone detectors tuned into those interfering stone protectors' gemstones.
Fire up the Zeds then, and let's retrieve those precious marbles.
This is it, lad. Close your eyes and hold on tight, because when we open them, we'll have a different kind of view.
I don't think it's the view they're hoping for. 'Cause Zoc is coming.
We're almost on them, Zoc. How can anyone listen to that trash? I'll tell you this, Sink. When Mythrandir's in my palm, we'll have real music. 1,001 violins, accordion bands, musical saws. None of this filthy rock and roll. It's a happening thing, lad. We're on our way back home. Keep singing. Rock me, baby.
I reckon we did it.
Okay. So Zoc, it sounds like Zoc is more interested in instrumental music. He was saying, like the violins and the accordions and the, like 76 trombone and all that. He wants instrumental, not this rock and roll junk. Yeah, he sounds very much like a parent. Now it's starting to make more sense. What the whole thing is, but the fight between these two are. I think I'm getting it. Of course, I don't understand why his whole thing is fire and destruction. I mean, if he's into of course, then again, a lot of the uh classical music. Look, I was in orchestra, I played viola. We played some pretty intense music. I mean, yes, we all know that Mozart had some raunchy music titles. I mean, even in Amadeus, he says, "I'm a vulgar man." He wasn't kidding. He he was he was the Green Day of his day. But I mean, well, and even what is that? The 1812 overture. That has cannons, live actual cannons going. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe that's what Zoc is talking about. Why not? Trying to explain to someone that the same person, Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky, who wrote the ballet The Nutcracker, is the same one who wrote the 1812 overture, who had cannon fire. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, there's quite a few of those that are, you know, then there's also, Night on Bald Mountain. Of course, that's dark. And and of course we all think of it from the Disney cartoon. And but has quite an interesting history to it, though, when you actually read about the composer and everything. But that's beside the point and everything. Anyway, so the point here is my mind goes off the rails. Again, I don't know why you guys put up with me, but so Zoc and Empress Opal are like their musical tastes are uh different, and that's what they're fighting. That's what I'm getting right now. Don't spoil it, But if you remember this series and it's one of your favorite, don't spoil it. Okay. I'm really interested in this. This is one that I've never seen before, and so I'm really into this. And so but that's what I'm getting so far. You know what it reminds me of? My brain just did a thing like it usually does. There's an old Disney silly symphony that is the classic instruments versus the brass band instruments. So there was the island of the brass instruments and then the island um of the instrument of the stringed instruments. And I just remember like the little tuba um wanted to date the daughter of the I'm sure you know which one I mean. If I could find it, I'll put it in the description box if you've never seen it before. It's I think that's one of the first ones I ever saw of the Silly Symphonies. And that's what it reminds me of, is these two were at war. And so anyway, let's keep going.
Ah, so nice of you to drop in.
Dad jokes. More dad jokes. Jam session.
We've got to move. Fast!
Huh? We were just getting comfortable.
Cornelius and Angus are in big trouble.
Oh, yeah? How do you know?
Trust me, I know these things. Why do you think I'm the Empress of Mythrandir?
He just got finished telling Cornelius and Angus about that.
Uh-oh. Looks like we missed the gig, Empress.
Let me at the guy that's got my buddy. I'll chin him. I'll deck him. I'll rip his...
Easier said than done, Max. I mean, it's not like we're dealing with some sort of...
What's her
street.
hand
We're
constantly
dealing
doing?
with Zoc.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So what's our next move? I mean, this is all new to us. You know what I'm saying?
Zoc's almost certainly taken Cornelius and Angus back to the Crystal City. He's after their gemstones. And somehow we have to get those boys out of the palace before Zoc gets the gemstones out of those boys.
Oh, yikes.
Catastrophic. So unfortunate that the gemstones appear to be embedded in your chests.
Not the face! Anything but the face! Whoa!
The gemstone is here, not on your face. Oh gosh, I remember when kids would say stuff like catastrophic. Yeah. There was another phrase that was used a lot. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, we would take words and then say them out each syllable, yeah. And of course, reminds me of I don't remember what show it is where the guy said dynamite. Yeah, I think it was, yeah. The early 90s were a weird time. Let's just be honest with each other. Oh my gosh. It really was. Yeah, what's going on with her head? I'm noticing something about the animation with Empress Opal. Because like when she's moving her hand like this and then she points around like this, it's like they have certain animation and they use it a lot. And and especially when she's running into a room, you see that animation a lot too. So it's almost like they have specific animation for her and they use it over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, just use some more animation for this poor woman. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because the arm thing was, they used it twice, and then when she was pointing around like this, yeah, they did that twice. Everything. So, and it's getting a little confusing because it's like the three guys that stayed behind, it's like now all of a sudden they're gonna have an attitude towards her, but they were on her side when Cornelius and Angus decided to pull this stunt. This doesn't make any sense. See, the what? I mean, that, yeah, I think the one is the one in the blue is Max. I'm trying to remember all their names here. I'm trying to get them together. Yeah, the one with the roller skates, I think that's Max. And he was the one that basically laid it out. He was like, I mean, we can't go back to Earth because of all of, this whole thing with the Empress. She told us about all this. Now all of a sudden, he's giving her attitude. How do you know that? It's like, yeah, that's a little confusing. Why would they that that made no sense to me just now when they did that. That doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, so okay, let's see how this goes. Oh my.
My stone! Ah! Cornelius!
Your gemstone's picking up Cornelius's vibes. He's in trouble.
Well, you already knew that.
Oh, excuse me. Oh man, that feels better. I guess it was just indigestion.
You wish.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite extraordinary.
So they can't be destroyed.
I do like a challenge. Build me a gemstone extractor, my dear Zinc.
A gemstone extractor?
Get working on it.
Everywhere he goes, Zoc spreads fire and destruction.
Yeah, see? She was saying that in the last episode too.
Reassembles the great crystal. Nothing can stop him. And Mythrandir will die. We have to retrieve Zoc's onyx. We have to recreate the great crystal. I must have my throne back if I'm to save this planet. That's my mission. And that's your mission too. That's why you are the Stone Protectors.
Babe, we're musicians, not fighters.
I guess I'd expect that from someone who still says babe.
Well, what do you want us to do? Like, cut him down with the diminished chord, maybe?
No thank you, chum. I've had me bath this morning. Ah, coolness under fire. Courage in the face of disaster. I do hope your sense of humor holds up under pressure.
Is that a David Bowie reference?
The hair! Will you please mind the hair? No, let me out!
It wasn't us, we're foreigners.
I want to see my lawyer.
I want to see me mum.
I mean, they said under pressure, and I said, is that a David Bowie reference? Well, here's the thing. Because that song, it was David Bowie and Queen that sang that song together. And if this was 91, I'll double check on the date. 'Cause I keep wanting to say 91, 92 is when it was released. Because we lost Freddie Mercury in 1991. Because I clearly remember that we lost Jim Henson in 1990, and then the next year we lost Freddie. So I'm wondering if that's a quick tribute to Freddie. If this was released and again, I will look because I'm not gonna bring up the internet or anything real quick. But and you know, because my brain just reminded me of a thing. This is also during the time when the when grunge was huge. I mean, um, I mean, it came up in the late 80s, and it didn't last long, obviously, because we lost Kurt in 94. I was in middle school when we lost him. And but yeah, this is when I mean, I can't even explain just how big grunge was. Like my cousin, I have a cousin who's like 8 years older than me, so she was a teenager at the time, and she was sitting there watching the Unplugged, the famous Unplugged, MTV Unplugged with him. And of course, all of us little cousins were in grandma's living room and you know, we didn't understand what was going on. And, but there she was. She had to see this episode, and she's babysitting us. And I just remember seeing Kurt. He's sitting there smoking a cigarette and everything, holding his guitar and everything. And well, of course, then when we lost Kurt, I then realized just how important it was because I didn't really listen to Nirvana. I did every once in a while. I caught a song or two on the radio, and but then I realized that I was glad that I watched that when it aired. And, but yeah, grunge was big. You know, looking back, I realized just how big it was. And but so yeah, I mean, it makes more sense to make a cartoon about music, and because of the fact that music, I mean, we had MTV, and uh, and then the fact, of course, that grunge was everywhere, and and of course there were other rising stars. I mean, by 94, I mean well, let's see, when did Green Day was still kind of an unknown. Green Day didn't wasn't a big name until Dookie. I mean, people kind of knew who they were, but it wasn't until 94 when that Dookie album came out. So, I mean, yeah. So there were new genres coming out all the time. I mean, this was actually a smart thing to do because of all the new, and it seems like Prince changed his sound too. Yeah, it seems like this is around the time that Prince changed his sound as well. And but anyway, let's keep going.
This is gonna be a tough venue.
Cliff, Cornelius and Angus are musicians too. They're your friends.
Yeah, right, you mook.
Look, if you
Did
don't
he
get the
just
lay,
call her
the
that?
Cornelius and Angus will be playing is the funeral march.
Yeah, Opal's right. We're a band. We gotta stick together.
Not the face. Not the hair. I don't want to look like roadkill.
Well, this is the right turnip. A childhood of flippant piano lessons, only to end up as a dry cleaning statistic.
There's the Crystal Palace.
Yee-haw! A stuck valve is all, Zoc. There, that should do it.
Then do it. I want those gemstones.
And we, I mean you, will have them.
He keeps saying we.
I think I owe you an apology, Cornelius.
Oh, no apologies, Angus. I played worse gigs than this in Virginia.
5,000 foot-pounds per square M, approximately. We got him!
Okay. So, first of all, so he he snapped. What's his name? You know, because Opal said they're your friends, and then he called her a mook. See, it's contradicting. It's like they're on her side, and then they're not, and then they're on her side again, and then they're not. Pick a side and stay on it. And then all of a sudden they say once again, "Oh yeah, we're a band." We established that at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, because there was I mean, I understand why she was reminding of, you know, this is why you're the stone protectors and everything because of the last episode. That makes sense. You know, you kind of need a refresher of what happened in the last episode. Given whenever this was aired, maybe it was last week or what have you, or the day before. You know, whatever. However, when you are repeating something that happened earlier in the episode, that's repetition. You don't need to. That's right, we're a band. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You oh my goodness gracious. Because I think that is the same guy who said we're a band. We don't need to, oh. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Also, um I don't know Zock's little minion guy, the little yellow guy. I don't know his name, but a few times he has said, we did this. I mean, you did this. Something tells me later on that's going to be an issue. Probably not in this episode, but later on in the series. Yeah, something tells me that there's going to be conflict between Zoc and this guy. So, because with him constantly saying we, I mean you know, and yeah, I've seen that enough times in these. Okay, let's keep going. Why don't they just charge in? Is there an invisible barrier or something? That was a little weird.
Guard! Guard!
So what happened to him? Oh, I see.
Stand aside! I will not be denied by a bunch of scrofulous rock musicians!
Uh-oh. That's a problem.
Egregious!
Your power, Cornelius! Your power! Use your power!
Yeah.
Use your power!
Huh? All right.
Okay. So does he have to be reminded to use his power? You would think, because this was a to be continued. So was it the same day? Because they were still flying. It could have been 24 hours, what have you, from the last episode. So he should know that he has this power that he had in the last episode. Why does she have to remind him to use it? He could have gotten out of there. Oh, merciful heavens. It's all right. I don't know. Well, I guess, logically speak. Okay, let's look at it logically, because anybody in that situation um who is tied up or whatever, their mind goes blank. Okay. Just like in Great Mouse Detective, and and Basil is, I mean, his mind just goes blank because Radigan had caught him. I mean, he had that big banner come down and said, "Welcome, Basil." I love that movie so much. But so he's tied up with Dawson, and Dawson is getting really irritated with him because he's not himself. So yeah, it makes sense that you would just check out and not. Yeah, I'll give Cornelius a pass on that one. And even if it was 24 hours earlier, be it hours earlier, whatever. So yeah, now that I've talked it through, I'll give it a pass. Let's give him the benefit on this one. All right, let's continue.
Angus? Angus? Angus!
Get him!
Oh, they got lasers. Oh, now they enter the room. They didn't before.
Angus, you're safe.
Yeah, relax, love. I heard you yell and use your powers, so I thought I'd give the camouflage thing a whirl. Works pretty nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, they still have lasers.
Come on, lads. Let's give this dump the elbow.
Uh-oh. Is that it? Oh, he got it.
Hit it, Cliff!
They should have tried to get that. Darn.
You'll never escape me. Mythrandir will be mine.
Any trouble? Just play in a higher key. Piece of cake, babe. Excuse me.
I'll let it go this time, Cliff. But just this once.
Flying machines, Zink. That's what we need. Flying machines.
Sorrow gliders, sir. I'll get right on it. I will find a way.
Fire. Lava.
Is that something we're to expect in the next episode?
I'll turn Mythrandir into a paradise. And wall to wall string quartet.
Yeah, he just likes classical music. Let the guy love classical music.
You guys did great today, all of you. I'm proud of you.
Angus and I were jerks. We are a band. I owe you all an apology.
Yeah, we got a great future, and we've got to stick together.
Truth is, you guys, like the Empress says, we can't leave. Leastways,
So they're on her
not
side
until we get
again.
Zock's onyx.
Or he gets our gemstones.
Right, I'm afraid.
So it looks like
We're jamming here.
Wow. Outstanding.
And that's the end. Yeah. So this one is a little confusing. I mean, I I kind of get what Cornelius wanting to go back home. He did it the wrong way. But at the same time, them going back and forth with the whole thing with uh Empress Opal. One minute they're on her side, the next minute they're not, and the next that was a little confusing. I don't know if the writers just forgot. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, that was a little confusing. And but now it makes a little bit more sense what the whole fight between Opal and Zoc are, Zoc just wants classic. The man just, the creature just wants classic music, not this, this loud music, not this loud rock and roll music. But anyway, that's the second half.